Page 25, Scale Study, G Major. In this lesson, they're introducing you to the scale of G Major. I've already asked you to go do the scale for G Major and E minor already because we've had a piece in G Major already because it has one sharp. All the F's are sharped, but they're presenting it in the book, so I'll present it here as far as what they're doing. Remember what a scale is. It's a set pattern of whole steps and half steps. And a major scale, the pattern is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. If you forget that what it is, go back to C major here because it's all arranged for you with the black keys. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. They're all there for you. You just use that same pattern but start on a G. So you're using all white keys except for the F sharp. So we're here, but you'll find it follows that pattern. We got a whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. It's the same pattern here. So it's whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Same pattern, okay? Use my scale video on it, please. I prefer you do that. Just remember all the F's are sharped. This way, when you're playing in the key as a G major, you don't have to worry about which notes, which black keys to use. You just play in F sharps because it's in the key. It's in the scale. Let's talk about this study and do this. Look it over. It's 2 lines long. Treble and bass clef. 1 sharp in the key signature. We know it's in G major. You know what scales to do. Blah, blah, blah. You're going to get tired of me saying, go do the scales there. I can just go blah, 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 and you can fill in the blah, blah, blahs. Okay. And 2 4-time signature. We got 8th notes all over the place. Right hand first. It's just a scale going up. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. 1. Here. Second line, just reach up. Once you're there, you can collapse because we don't have any more notes down here. So, okay, left hand is basically the same thing, except you're starting here. 1 and 2 and 2 and. Rest. During the rest, you come down, and now you're going to do the scale in the left hand. If you can do the scale, you sight read this kind of stuff. Sight read is when you can perform it at sight. You've never seen it before. You've seen it first. You're just playing it. That's sight reading. Then we put the hands together to see how the fingers are coordinated. It's here, and here, and then here, here. And that G's by itself now. The left hand has a rest because you need to come down here anyway. The right hand you just lift. Reach up, it's an octave. In here, get the idea? So you put the heads together and then go back over it slowly and carefully and get rid of the hesitations. And this is a good one if you can get there to do it without looking at the keyboard eventually, where you can feel going here to here. You feel this letter to letter. This octave, it's an important interval in music, and we use it a lot in piano. You want to be able to feel what that is. So you want to be able to, what does that feel like without looking at the keyboard eventually. Now in the left hand, when you go from the first line and second line here to here, there you may have to look down because you're going from little finger to little finger. That's quite a stretch. But otherwise, try and play as much of it as you can without looking at the keyboard. Then we add the articulation, which they don't give much, so just connect it. You don't have to. You could disconnect. You do whatever you want. They do have a few staccatos in there. Here. So you have staccatos. But again, when they don't tell you anything, play around with it. Experiment. Try different things out. Disconnect it. Bum, 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 bum. Try that out. Just for kicks and giggles. Maybe you do the 2-note slurs. One down, up, down, up, down. Not that fast, of course. The point is you can try different articulations with this because while you're experimenting, you're actually practicing the scale. Because when you're doing the videos I have on scales and you're doing the scale there, try all these different things while you're doing that because you're practicing the scale when you do that. You're getting used to the notes and the fingering and the black keys and all that. Then the dynamics, well, it's soft, the first line, and loud the second. So your light, it's going to be whatever note or whatever hand has the eighth notes in it. Soft, very soft. And then loud and sort of soft. Experiment with that too. And again, you do that with the scales. Play one hand louder than the other while you're practicing the scales. They don't give a speed. It's entirely up to you. It needs to be accurate. It needs to be controlled. These eighth notes need to be even. So I'll leave it up to you on how fast you go. Don't take it real fast. That messes it up. Keep it slow. Let your wrist claps on the beat. 1, 2. The accent. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. However, when you start dividing up beats, like we have here, we have 2 notes in a beat. Each beat gets just a little bit. So here you can actually go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Let the wrist claps on these 2. 1 and 2 and. Keep the wrist loose, and you get used to this feeling eventually of doing this. The weight's pushing the note down, not the fingers. The fingers are just whichever finger the weight is on, is all it is. It's a little bit of a problem when you repeat, because you're here. There's no rest. With the right hand, you just reach down. The left hand, you got to come up here. So get used to the reaching. Get ready in the right hand. Have it ready so you can focus on the left hand when you repeat here, and you're ready to go again. May take a little practice with the hand moves. Repeats can mess them up real well, so you have to watch out on a repeat on how it affects your hand movement and the fingering and all, because it could be different from going on. If there were more music after these 2 lines and you went on after the repeat, it might be different than when you repeat. It's easier to understand when we run across it in a piece. In page 24 we had it. You had a repeat at the end of the second line, but we had a rest, so it didn't matter. So we could handle whatever was coming. Sometimes you don't get rest, so you have to watch out on that, but I'll talk about it when we get to those pieces. Now, once you can play this okay, slowly, no hesitations, then come back to the video and let's play it together very slowly to check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the louds and softs, so I'll do the staccatos. I'll give us 2 counts, and we will repeat it too. Now, because we got eighth notes all over the place, I put the metronome on eighth notes, so it's beating eighth notes. 1 and 2. Like so. That's how fast we're going to go. Ready, and go, and. Rest. Repeat. Rest.